So in court, Andrew said, open court, I then took a knife and slit his throat and continued to stab him. I was so angry. I stabbed him so many times. I don't remember how many or where. That's what he disclosed in court during his trial. Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Real Crimes. So today we go back to South Africa, and in South Africa we're going to the Western Cape. So the year is 2015 actually, in April, and in 2015 April, in the High Court of the Western Cape, Andrew Chimboza, a Zimbabwe national, was being charged with the murder of Manona, a 62-year-old South African. By then, Andrew was 35 years old. Okay, so how did this murder come about? What did he do? When did he do it? So in 2014, Andrew went to visit his friend. Now, I'm not sure if it was a girlfriend or just a friend. And the friend was Nomonde Shabalala. They were in Cape Town, so this was in Guguletu. So he went to visit his friend, and when he got there, he found the old man there. I'm saying old man because he was 62, right? Manona was 62 years old. So there he was, and Andrew asked Shabalala, like, who is he? What is he doing here? And then Shabalala could not explain, probably, but the old man was offended, and he started insulting Andrew and trying to like hit him. Okay, he started attacking him. So Andrew decided, well, I'm gonna deal with you, old man. So he gave Shabalala 50 rand and asked her to go and buy some alcohol for them to drink and make merry. While Shabalala was out, Andrew went for the man. He attacked the old man. They started fighting. But obviously the old man was overpowered. Andrew was only 35. So he was overpowered, and the fight led to his death. Okay? Now, neighbors here had heard all the noises and probably called the police. When they called the police, guess what the police officer found? The first officer on site or on the scene. He found Andrew sitting on the floor, feeding himself on a hut. Like he was literally eating a hut, raw meat, with a fork and a knife. Okay, so Andrew was arrested and then taken to jail. His trial started in the court, and it was found out that he stabbed Manona several times. He was stabbed several times, and his throat was slit, his chest was slit. So probably that's how he ripped out the heart. So in court, he was asked, like, why did you do it? He pled guilty. He did. He didn't want to waste the court's time. He knew he was guilty. He knew he had killed the man, but he obviously wanted to give reasons that would make him look like it was self-defense or he had to do it. So he said he did it because the old man attacked him first, so he was just basically defending himself. Okay, but he also said that, and I quote, I then took a knife and slit his throat and continued to stab him. I was so angry. I don't remember how many times I stabbed him or where. That's what he said in court. Also, in the same court, he said, the reason I ate his heart was because I wanted to show him that I'm not gay. Okay. Asked why he had to rip the heart out. He said he ripped the heart out, or he took the heart out because it was full of hatred and jealousy. What is even more weird, Andrew said that after eating the heart, that's when he realized that the man was dead. I don't know how to explain this. He only realized after finishing eating the heart that, oh, I just killed somebody. This man is dead. Okay, that's the time he realized. Anyway, Andrew was actually charged with the murder of this man, and yeah, the judge said that the crime was very brutal and it was like super personal and it was uncalled for. Like the way he had done it, it was just too intense. It looked like he was a dangerous person. Anyway, Andrew was sentenced to 18 years in prison, and he's currently he was sentenced in 2015, so he is currently serving his term at the Western Cape prison, yeah, for killing a man and eating his heart over a woman. Whew. So what do you guys think about people that actually go on to eat human flesh after killing somebody? Do you think that is a normal practice? Do you think it gives them what, some sense of satisfaction? Why do people actually do that? Why do people do that? I actually have another story about a person who did the same thing, killed somebody and ate some body parts. And this is again a Zimbabwe national. Stay tuned. So during his trial, Tongai Jintu said that he had been sent by the devil to kill 2 of his victims. And he also threatened the prosecutors that he would unleash evil spirits on them if they continued to ask him questions. During the trial again, he said that he committed the crimes while he was high under the influence of crystal meth and heroin, and he said those 2 gave him the urge to want to kill. That was his defense. Hello everyone. Okay, so let's go to Bulawayo. So in Bulawayo in 2021, the Supreme Court was hearing an appeal case. This was a case of appeal that was filed by Tongai Jintu's lawyers. They were appealing against sentence as well as conviction. Right, what was he convicted for and what was he sentenced to? So Jintu, I'm going to call him Jintu from now on. So remember, Jintu is Tongai Jintu and he is the accused. So Tongai Jintu, I'm going to call him Jintu. So Jintu was charged with murder of 2 people, and the 2 people were Ngube and Kadzungura. And he had been sentenced to death by hanging. Okay, now he was in the Supreme Court, 2021. He was in the Supreme Court appealing both the sentence and the conviction. According to him, the lower court, which is the high court, had made a mistake when they reached that conclusion that he was guilty. They had made a mistake because 1, he was mentally unstable. That's according to him. But obviously the prosecution had done their homework. They actually had sent him for mental evaluation, and the experts had found that there was nothing wrong with his mental capacity. He was very normal. He's just somebody who did what he did for some reasons that he knows. Okay, so who is Jintu? You know, unfortunately, there isn't much said about Ngube, one of the victims. There isn't much said about him, but there is a lot said about Kadzungura and also Jintu. So Jintu did not only kill Ngube, but he also killed Kadzungura, his childhood friend. Okay, so Jintu and Kazungura grew up together. They literally grew up together to the extent that when Kazungura's mom was talking, she actually said, Tongai, again, this is open court. Tongai grew up in my hands, and I'm sure there is no corner in my house that he does not know. He played with my son from childhood, as we were once neighbors in Queen's Park, close court. Okay, so she wouldn't also understand why he killed his friend. So that's Tongai Jindu. He grew up with Kazungura. They grew up together. They were childhood friends, and they went all the way to being adults, because by the time that Kazungura died, he was 28. So they went all the way being friends. Okay, so they literally knew each other, and their families obviously knew each other, and they were in harmony with each other. They coexisted very well. So Kazungura was described as a very calm person, a very peace-loving person. He was even the chairperson of a youth association in his church where he was worshiping. So he was that kind of a person. He was a peaceful person, and his mom could not even understand why he had been killed. On the other hand, Jintu was also described by his friends and by other people that knew him as somebody who was also calm, somebody who was also not violent, but had a temper. How did they know that he had a temper? Because these guys were saying that as they were growing up as young boys, when they were playing, football, chikweshe in the streets, they would realize that sometimes he would raise his temper, but he never got violent with anybody. So they were also surprised, like, how did he end up doing that? So what exactly did he do? Crime number one. Okay, the first crime happened on January the 12th, 2017. This was the murder of Ngube. So Ngube and Jintu met at a supermarket, and then they drove to Burnside. It's not stated why they went to Burnside. Nobody knows why they went to Burnside, but they did go there. When they got there, Jintu pulled out a pistol from his car and shot Ngube twice in the chest, and he died. He dismembered the body and burnt it. And then he dug 4 shallow graves and buried the body parts. And he went on with his life like nothing happened. He went on with his life. Yeah. The second crime, on the 29th of January, the same month, okay, he called his friend Kazungura and said, come, let's meet up, let's spend some time together, but please bring your laptop, I want to work on something. And Kazungura did exactly that. He carried his laptop to his friend, and the friend drove to the place, and they met, and they drove away together. But Kazungura did not come back home. When it was after 8 p.m., he was still not home. That was unusual for him, according to his mother. So the mother said she sent him a text to say, hey, what's up? Where are you? What's happening? And this was like after already around 10. That's when she got the response, and the response was that he was okay. They were just driving around with his friend Jintu. Okay. Later on in the night, he did not come back home, and the mom got worried, and then she called Jintu, and Jintu said, yo, I last saw your son around 4 in the afternoon. So why would then he say he was with Jintu around 10 if he last saw him at 4? Clearly Jintu did not plan his things. He was just guessing. He was just saying things and hoping probably nobody's paying attention, right? Right. So then, son does not come back home, and the mother decided she was going to file a missing person report at the police station. So before she even did that, she went around police stations trying to find if they arrested him. You know, like as a mother, she probably thought, yeah, boys being boys, they're probably drinking in public, something happened and they got arrested. So she went around police stations trying to find her son, and she did not. So she ended up filing a missing persons report. Okay. She called Jintu and told him that still Kadzungura was not home. And Jintu sounded very surprised, very concerned, very sympathetic. What an actor. Anyway, days go by, and Kadzungura is not home, and his mom is looking for him, and the police are also helping to find this man. That's when they start tracking his mobile phone, which Jintu had already sold. But before he sold the mobile phone, he sent another text to Kadzungura's mother. He said, "Hi, Mom. I am so sorry. I'm leaving the country. I've committed a crime and the CIDs are looking for me. I am sorry I have to leave the country. I'm at the Bed Bridge border post right now." So the mom was so quick to respond and say, "No, you don't have to run away if you've done something bad. It will only make things worse. Just come back home, we'll deal with it. We'll sort it out." But there was no response. So she tried to call the number. The number was already off. So after this text, Jintu sold the phone and sold the laptop. So when the police traced the cell phone, they found that, thank you. They found the cell phone, and the person disclosed where they bought the cell phone from. And they also said they had bought a laptop from the same person. And these gadgets turned out to be Kadzungura's gadgets. So Jintu had sold the gadgets, and the buyer identified Jintu as the seller. That meant Jintu had to know where Kadzungura was. Jintu was arrested. Okay. In the meantime, another friend of Kadzungura called his mom and said he had received a text from Kadzungura saying that he was on his way to Harare. Jintu just had to be confused. I think Jintu didn't think this through. He kept changing his statements. So anyway, Kadzungura's mom went to Harare to look for her son, as much as the family members were telling her that no, you don't have to do that. Stay in one place. If he's going to come back home, at least he must find you at home. But she, being a mom, she had to do what she had to do to find her son. But anyway, when the gadgets were recovered and Kadzungura was identified, Jintu was identified as the seller, he was arrested. At this point was being arrested for theft. It was actually considered as theft. They just thought maybe he stole his friend's gadgets and sold them. But during interrogation, he confessed that indeed he had actually killed his friend. So according to him, he had spent the day with his friend drinking and having a good time. Then around 10 at night, his friend decided that he was going to walk home. There was some path a walkway that connected the two places, his place and Kadzungura's place. So he was walking home, and Jintu followed him, and he killed him. He shot him once in the head and once in the chest. Yeah. And he dug a shallow grave and killed and buried him. So he confessed all this when he was arrested. And also the police then started to suspect that he could have done the other, he could have also done something else. They asked him if there was anything else that he had done, and he confessed to killing Mude. and he went to show them where the 4 graves that he had dug to bury his body parts. So he was charged with double murder and sentenced to death by hanging. Okay, so in his defense, Jintu said he was being told by some evil or the devil to do what he was doing. And he obviously threatened the prosecutors that he could actually unleash evil spirits on them if they continue to bug him. Yeah. And he obviously did plead insanity, of which I would think that would hold water. Like, honestly, I don't think there are any normal people that would do that would do what he did. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, there's no motive. Why did he kill these people? There was no motive. So probably insanity would have held some water, but no. The specialist said there was no insanity in play. Jintu had to face the music. So he was sentenced in 2018, but 2021, he was still in court fighting both conviction and sentence. He says he's not guilty of anything because he's not mentally stable. And also, it wasn't his idea. It was just the devil who told him to do what he did. What are your thoughts? Do you guys really think he is mentally unstable? Or do you think he was trying to use it as a defense? Do you guys think, oh, of course, this devil theory, it doesn't really make much sense to me. But what probably makes sense to me would be mentally unstable. But I don't know. According to the judges, none of that existed. And according to the experts, he was very stable and he was fit to stand trial. He knew exactly what he did. He was able to tell right from wrong. So he had to face the music. So Jintu is still fighting right now, 2022. But here is the thing. The Supreme Court threw out his appeal in June of 2021. So now I don't know which other court can he appeal to. Probably the Con Court. Can he actually go to the Con Court? I wonder. Can he do that? Or does he have to appeal to the president? Probably he needs to appeal to the president now, because the Supreme Court has actually thrown it out, and they've actually like withheld the judgment. They said, yeah, it's okay like that. So probably he needs to go to the Con Court. He probably needs to appeal to the president. And well, given the situation in Zimbabwe, from my understanding, there hasn't been any executions in a long time. So he probably won't be executed. He'll probably just sit there and, yeah, probably do life. Because there hasn't been any executions in the longest time. For reasons best known to the current president. Yeah. So I don't think he's going to die from being executed. But he'll probably die from natural causes, because he looks like he's going to be sitting there for the longest time. For as long as he lives, he'll be sitting there. I want to believe most of these people that had been sentenced to death have actually sort of moved to life, not death anymore, because there haven't been any executions in Zimbabwe in a long time. I think the last executions were those of Chidumo and Masendeke. Those were the last ones, and that's a long time ago. From there on, there hasn't been any. So what do you guys think? Should he be executed? Should he be given life? Was he mentally unstable, or is it just a defense that his lawyers told him to say? I don't know. So anyway, that's a story about a Zimbabwean guy who killed 2 people. One was his childhood friend. What a horrible, horrible thing that happened there. So, as usual, guys, Stay away from crime, because if you do crime, you're most likely to do the time. Enjoy, stay safe, be blessed, and thank you for watching.